Hello and welcome to the 4th Series 10 panel discussion about Knock Knock, and here today I have Claire O'Shea, Alfie Owen-Shaw and Wodaman.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Alright, so let's get straight into it. What did you think of the Doctor and Bill in this episode? Because they're a lot different than they have been in the previous 3 stories, I thought, but what are your thoughts?
I thought the Doctor was just like an embarrassing dad.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, I mean, he was
definitely what I got
better.
from it.
He was a little better towards the end of it, but at the beginning, Christ, with like the shit he was doing with Spotify, it was just obnoxious.
At least he wasn't going, "Oh, I'm Dr. Disco."
Yeah,
at
that's
least
some
he wasn't doing that.
consolation.
At least he didn't start dad dancing when Little Mix come on.
Although, if there's one complaint other than that I was going to say about the Doctor, it's that he seems a bit disjointed and callous in this episode, which would have been fine if it was like his Series 8 version of the Doctor, but this is the one who last episode was, harping on about the value of human life, yet he barely seems to care about all the people that have, well, at least so it seems, died. Which just felt a bit odd. And he was even, like, smiling at David O'Shea, who played the landlord. When he was talking about, all these children have been killed, and he's just like, It's like, that was a bit weird.
I know.
Is that the director's fault? I'm not sure. So something wasn't being done right there. I'm not sure if it was Capaldi not putting in his best performance, like, not really thinking about the script, or whether it was the director not really telling him what to do, but there was definitely something wrong there.
He was a bit iffy. I wouldn't say it was his best performance, nor would I say it's his worst.
No, it's certainly not his worst, but there was quite a few jarring issues there, which I was honestly surprised to see, because he's been pretty good so far.
Definitely, it's a big improvement from Series 9.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, I did see it sliding back towards kind of Series 9 level, which was a bit disheartening, but it's not that bad. So, Bill, I didn't like Bill in this one. I loved Bill in the previous 3 episodes, but just here, she didn't really contribute anything to the plot, and all she really did was tell the Doctor to go away, which I just didn't find fun to watch.
Yeah, she didn't really do anything in regards to the plot. She was really just kind of there.
Yeah.
She felt more of a side character rather than a main companion.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you were to take her out of the story, it would hardly have made much of a difference.
Eventually, you would have just had more time to develop the plot.
Yeah.
Probably.
But yeah, very underused, and just, they didn't have the same kind of flair they had in the previous 3 episodes. Like, there was a lot of chemistry in the previous 3, but here, it just felt kind of awkward them being together.
Yeah.
And
the whole, he's my grandfather, or I could be your father, and that was just, I felt like that was just a bit stupid.
Yeah, that was being played for laughs, but I just didn't find it funny at all.
It wasn't funny.
And, nobody in my house was laughing at it.
I found it a bit, it was a little funny the first time, and then it just kind of,
It outstayed its welcome.
Very fast.
Yeah, and that's a real shame, because the Doctor and Bill have been by far the best thing about the past 3 episodes, and while, there definitely needs to be some episodes where there's more attention on other things.
On the plot as opposed to the characters, but...
You can still try and do them well. You can still make them, likeable. They just don't need to develop all the time, is what we're saying.
Yeah, you can focus more time on the plot as opposed to the characters, but because of that, the character relationships and don't need to take a backseat to the plot, if that makes any sense.
Exactly. It just felt like they were really sloppily written here, which is quite annoying. Alright, okay, so let's move on to the next bit, which is the landlord and the whole plot of the episode. So,
I felt the landlord was more wooden than the wooden woman, really. He didn't get really any...
I didn't. I thought David O'Shea is a brilliant actor. He portrayed the landlord brilliantly, in my opinion.
Yeah, I really liked the landlord. He had some, quite sympathetic motivations despite all the horrible things he's done, and I felt he was quite a nicely nuanced character. I'm not sure how much of how I like him is because of the acting or because of the writing, because, I don't know, I need to rewatch this to really determine that, but David O'Shea really brings that character to life, and I'm not sure whether I really like that character because of the actor or because of the writing. But either way, I did really like what they were going for there.
I
think
found
it's
him
a bit of
iffy.
both,
I wouldn't
yeah.
have found him that. I wish he got more development than popping up and then disappearing again.
I thought
But I
he got the most development out of anything in the episode, to be honest.
Yeah, you did. And I kind of felt like him hopping in and out and stuff. Like, when he would appear and the people and the characters would be surprised by it, I felt like that was kind of necessary. So, like, if he didn't just pop in and out like he did in the episode, like, you kind of hope that he didn't do, I felt like that would kind of take away from it.
Yeah, I like that. It kind of made it, more unsettling when he was there. And also it's a kind of very landlord thing to do. Kind of
Yeah.
flying out.
Yeah.
I felt like there were that many characters, though, that there wasn't enough time
Oh, well,
to develop each one.
We'll get on to the minor characters in a moment, because I've got a lot to say about those.
Yeah, the minor characters kind of felt a lot like red shirts.
Well, yeah, exactly. We'll get on to that in a moment. But, did you like the bugs and, how they were sucking people into the wood?
I did. I quite liked them.
Yeah, I really just like the fact that it's a new monster. Like, I'll say something that I was watching the episode with my father, and he didn't really exactly, he missed out on the reveal of what the monster was, so he asked if it was, this kind of said, it's a new one, and I said yeah, and which is a good thing, because lately the show has kind of been surviving off the nostalgia of the old monsters. So with the inclusion of the new monsters,
we have had 4 new monsters this series so far.
Yeah, and there's only been 4 episodes. So.
Exactly, but they've all been pretty poorly developed. Other than these ones, I thought these ones worked in pretty well. Not perfect.
Yeah. But still, just the fact that the show is getting away from constantly using classic monsters, even if they were just making a little appearance. I mean, that did happen once with the Daleks, but so far it's been nowhere near as bad as the past seasons. And I feel like that's a good thing with
that
getting
is,
away from surviving on nostalgia.
Recently, I feel that's only been a problem in Series 9.
Yeah.
And also, I would remind you that Series 10, we have the Mondasian Cybermen coming back, we have John Sims Master coming back, we have the Ice Warriors coming back.
Mm.
And apparently there's another surprise of something coming back that we don't know about yet. So,
is there? I haven't heard about that.
I heard it in the news, they were teasing something.
Yeah, so this not surviving on nostalgia only works for so long.
Well, at least for the first half of the season, it's going to be like that.
Yeah, which is a bit of a shame.
Right, so what did you think of the minor characters in this then? Because as you were saying, they're a bit like red shirts.
They were just red shirts. They were exposed to before you even really knew anything about them. I can't even remember their names.
Yeah.
I actually like them. I shouted when Paul died, the tall one. I remembered their names. When Paul died, I screamed because I liked Paul. I don't know why. I just screamed Paul when he, and then it come to Harry being sucked down a stair. And then.
I was watching the show with my dad, and when the guy in the beginning died, my dad just muttered, "And he's not even wearing a red shirt."
Oh, that's brilliant.
Oh my God.
But the thing is, with a horror story, which this is what this episode was clearly going for, you need good characters, otherwise you can't really get invested in the horror. And I did not feel the characters had any substance to them at all. They had a tiny smidgen of development, but not much, and that's due to the fact that there's just not enough time to do so. If, say, this was a 60-minute episode, you'd be able to have more time with the characters together reacting to the situation developing, which means you could develop them as characters, making us care about them, and then kill them off, which then would have an impact and hence would heighten the stakes and heighten the horror. And this is not just done badly, it's also been pissed on by the fact that they all survived in the end, except for all of the previous children from all of the previous decades. For some reason they didn't survive, but the new ones did. I'm just sitting there living. But I thought minor characters were the weakest part of this episode. They were done very poorly, in my opinion.
Yeah, the characters were definitely, like, as I said, I could hardly remember their names until Alfie said what they were.
And one of them, I believe, was meant to be Harry Sullivan's grandson or something.
I read that in
Yeah, I read that, but I didn't even hear
And I was
anything
like,
about the episode.
wait, he's called Harry. How were we meant to know he's Harry Sullivan's grandson?
Maybe there was
I
a
don't
deleted
know.
scene that he was
Yeah,
in?
there's a deleted scene where he references it or something.
But then why, like, make a big hullabaloo about it in the press if it's going to be a deleted scene?
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense.
But
Buy
the thing about
DVD.
deleted scenes is that they aren't really canon, so until proven otherwise, that character isn't Harry Sullivan's grandson.
Yep.
So that's the reason you should go buy the
But
DVD.
but even if he was, but even if he was confirmed to be like Harry Sullivan's son, I mean, what impact does that have? Because it's not like he does anything particularly special or something that commemorates Harry as a character in that episode. He didn't even have like a ridiculously posh accent like Harry had. So it just seems like pointless fan wank.
Yeah, to be honest, the only thing that there was nothing that relates to. If there was a little scene with Peter Capaldi, like being, you remind me of someone, and then reminiscing about like in unit, that would have been nice.
Yeah.
But no, like as soon as you sort of get some development for his character, he gets eaten by a stare.
And then he comes back magically at the end. How lovely.
Yeah, and how does he even know to run out the house? Like, the doctor doesn't tell him, he just suddenly walks out the house.
Well, to be fair to the writer here, if you'd just been eaten by bugs, then magically came back to life, you would fucking bolt out of the house.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
actually.
Alright, okay, so let's move on to the visual effects, as I thought they were very impressive here, and so worth
They
having
were.
in the category.
They were brilliant. I loved the lady made out of wood, the mother.
It was beautiful.
/daughter.
Apparently that was practical effects as well, and it just looked amazing.
Yeah, I was wondering that. Like, I know in the past, like, with, like, when they do the Weeping Angels, that would be practical effects. But while I was watching this, I couldn't tell if it was CG or practical effects, which, I mean, if you would have said that it was CG, I wouldn't have been surprised. But practical effects, I mean, nice job.
I mean, it just looked so eerie and strange that I just couldn't help but love it.
Yeah.
It was so aesthetically pleasing yet creepy. And
Yeah.
it's lovely.
I think the reason it's eerie is because of something called the uncanny valley, which is where the more human something looks, but okay, so something that isn't human but looks human is creepy. For instance, the 10th planet Cybermen. And yeah, that's
Autons.
why. Autons, that's a good example.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a
Yeah.
good point to it. And I think this is by far the best looking episode of Series 10, because the last three visually, well, apart from Smile, that did look nice, but the other two did look a bit crap.
Yeah. Definitely when the girl comes out the floorboards in the pilot.
Yeah, and in Thin Ice, when there wasn't like loads of, fog around to kind of cover up, London looked awful, like when it was CG'd in the background towards the end. It looked terrible. Which, affects on everything, but I'm just justifying why I think this is the best looking episode. And it was a lovely gothic mansion they'd got as well.
Oh, yeah. And might I say another thing with the mansion that I liked was that most of it was wood, and because of that, the sonic screwdriver was rendered useless.
Oh, thank
So
Christ. This is the
So
first
the only
time
thing it was
sonic
really
screwdriver
used for was a
really-
flashlight. The
Yeah.
only thing we saw it used for was as a flashlight. Which
Exactly.
I actually quite like that. Because it
I'm
was
glad the
rendered
sonic
useless.
screwdriver didn't resolve anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead it was another Deus Ex Machina, Just trade out one for another. Well, I suppose it actually made sense here, but, I would have still preferred the minor characters to have died. Oh, and before we move on from visual effects, the best part, in my opinion, was that boy who was half embedded in the wall.
I was about to say
that
that
was-
scared the crap out of me with
yeah.
his
Great.
the whited out eyes.
That
Yeah,
was...
my little sister had to stop watching that because it had got too scary for her.
Yeah,
Like,
that
at
was.
that point.
It reminded me of what's it called? I've completely forgot it. But when the people come out the wings, and they're like, it's like
In what?
in the pilot. When the smart oil comes out the mirror.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that a bit.
I
But
thought it was
it's-
much better than that. I mean,
It
this
was
is
much
some of the best
better, but-
body horror we've seen in Doctor Who for a very long time.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
the practical
And again, there
effects
also
of the woman, practical effects, they pay off a lot more than CGI. Take a look at the Lazarus experiment from Series 3, for instance. That's just a CG monster.
Yeah.
And it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it belongs in a kebab shop. It's not very aesthetically pleasing.
It's the remains of a dried out kebab.
It's mutated over millions of
Yeah.
years. But yeah, visual effects absolutely lovely here. So
They were.
unless you've got anything else to say, that's about it. So if you'd like to give, your final thoughts to just wrap this up and give it a score out of 10.
Probably the plot was iffy, but it was one of my favourites mainly because of the special effects and Paul. All praise Paul. And I probably would have gave it 8 out of 5. What? 8.5.
You could do maths almost as well as Diane Abbott.
Sorry, 8.5 out of 10. Not 8. 8 out of 5. 8.5 out of 10. Math.
Next person.
Claire, do you want to do it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, overall, as Alfie said, the plot was a bit iffy, but the practical effects were really well done. But because the characters weren't very well developed, you didn't really know anything about them other than that they were a student. They basically just served as red shirts. In the ending, it was a bit lackluster. I'd give it like a 6 out of 10.
I'd say, it was original, and I really liked the new writer, Mike Bartlett, isn't that right?
Yes, that's the one.
Maybe 7 out of 10?
Well, personally, I really liked the plot, and I really liked, the landlord and his mother or daughter, the mother. But the characters, including the minor characters and the Doctor and Bill, were just awful, but at least it looked good. So I'd say it evens out to about a 6.5 out of 10, because a lot of it wasn't very good, but a lot of it was actually very enjoyable. But I don't feel I can go as far as to give it a 7, really. It just didn't have that kind of substance. And again, it's another Series 10 episode which would, be much better with a little more time to develop. In this case, not as much. Like the previous Ray, I probably would have given like a whole new episode to do it in. But with this one, I think it'd only need 15 more minutes just to have the characters develop a little more. And then it would be a lot better. So 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, the only truly great thing about the episode was that the visual effects were very well done, but a whole episode just can't stand up on one great thing and have everything else be lackluster.
Time of the Doctor, that looks beautiful, but it's a really fucking shit episode, and I know people are probably going to hate me for all that, but it's crap.
Honestly,
that's the story.
So before you go, the next time trailer, what are you thinking about that?
I knew it was going to be
good.
zombies. Zombies. I'm glad.
I can't weigh in on this because my DVR cut it out.
Oh dear. Well,
There's a lot of zombies.
Well, I mean, we don't know if they're going to be that kind of zombie, but it does look like a really good story. I mean, I was looking forward to it since the beginning because it was being written by Jamie Matheson, who wrote Mummy on the Orient Express and Flatline, which I loved. So hopefully he can do his magic again here, and it does look really good. It does look like a proper straightforward sci-fi horror base under siege kind of thing, and that's what Doctor Who does best at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't want Doctor Who
And
to do it all the time, but
Nardole goes on an adventure in that episode, so
I hope
something
he's
to look
not
forward
as
to.
aggravating.
Maybe
as he's been
Nardo
so
will
far.
actually freaking do something.
Yes.
Like,
he gets in a spacesuit and then sleeps.
I mean, to be honest, I didn't mind Nardole in Knock Knock.
Well, he's barely in it again. I mean, we're
Yeah,
6
that's
episodes deep into Nardole, and I still have no idea who his character is and what his motivations are, and it's just annoying me. I just get annoyed every time I see him on screen because
and the fact
I've
that
been given no reason to care about him.
Yeah. And what especially kind of gets to me about it is the fact that he only shows up for like 10 to 30 seconds near the very end, or throughout the whole episode, and Matt Lucas is still credited in the opening credits.
that is a good point.
And Matt Lucas.
I think it's really showing that Matt Lucas was a fairly last-minute addition.
Yeah.
So,
Is anyone going to question what's in the vault with the piano and Mexican food?
I don't care. It's probably John Sim, but at the end of the day, I'm just sick of this whole song and dance mystery box routine story arc crap. It just doesn't interest me anymore. I've seen it all before. I just prefer to have self-contained stories.
Yeah.
I think I do quite like series arcs, but they can be really terrible sometimes. Series 9.
I just don't really feel that any series has particularly benefited from having a story arc. And I know that's a very controversial opinion. Lots of people are going to despise me for it, but that's what I think. Maybe I'll go into it in depth in another video, but not here.
You have a bit of a point, but I would say that Series 1 had a really good series arc, with the exception of the Deus Ex Machina
that's the
that
whole
came
point
up
of
at the
it.
end.
It's put in just to lead up to a disappointing ending. It's used as an excuse to have a disappointing ending, basically.
No,
All
I
right,
think
okay. So thank you all for coming on.
Yeah.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for allowing me to be in this Skype call.
You're welcome, and I'll see you all back next time with Oxygen.